For the record, could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Militza Milo.
And what is your current title?
I am presently the commander of Hollywood Post 43 of the American Legion.
Excellent. Now, I understand that this isn't the first time you've been commander, or it's not the only office you've held in this particular post.
No, it isn't. Years ago, when I first joined here, the position of chaplain was an elected position. Now it's an appointed position. And that's the first thing that I served here as chaplain in 1981.
1981. After that, what positions did you have?
I was historian forever. And when they said, will you be the historian, you take pictures, I said, I've never taken a picture in my life. People took my picture, but I never took a picture. I don't think I can do it. They said, oh, I'm sure you will. And I really became quite good. In fact, I was the type of person, if I went to the Forest Lawn events, and they had the Rear Admiral there, I'd just go right up on the stage and take their picture. Where other people were all done, you know, I didn't care whether they liked it or not, I'd just go up and take their picture. So I really did a good job. But finally I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm tired of it, and I will not do it anymore. Then I ran for exec committee.
Executive committee? Now, what years do you think you were historian?
As soon as I got here, let's see, 81, 82, probably 83, and then I ran. This was a very political post at the time, and you had to get the permission of a certain person to run for the exec committee. Here, I attended every executive committee meeting.
Now, when was that you ran for the executive committee?
I think it must have been about 84.
84?
I think so, yeah.
And how long were you on the executive committee then?
I think I had to be on it by the powers that be for about 4 years before they would let me run for second vice.
And did you go through all the chairs?
I didn't go to all the chairs because we had a few people who were very chauvinistic, and they did not want a woman to be commander. So the night I was elected, one of the Vietnam vets said to me, Militza, didn't you just get elected commander? And I said, yeah. Well, how come he's still alive? I said, I don't know, go and ask him. Because this person has said, there will be no woman commander in this post as long as I'm alive. It was really funny because this young man said, Militza, how come he's alive?
What year was that?
98, 99.
98, 90. Now, were you the first woman commander?
Yes.
The very first at
Yes.
Hollywood Post?
Right. And one time I've been in the an oratorical program for American Legion almost from the time I came in. And I've been the 6th area commissioner. So I was conducting this 6th area contest, and I introduced everybody. I always forgot to introduce myself. And they'd say, well, you've introduced all these people. Who are you? You know, they were just saying they knew who I was. They wanted me to say it to all the people. And I said, oh, I'm Militza Milo, the first woman commander of Hollywood Post. And boy, everybody clapped because they knew. They already knew that that was the way it was here. And I really became, in 94, 95, I became the district, 24th district commander. Usually people are post commander first. And one of the department commanders said to me, Militza, weren't you the post commander? I said, no, there's no way I can beat these people. There's just no way. And now you're the district commander. You mean they wouldn't let you be post commander? I said, yes, that's the way it was. So.
Yeah. Now, after that...
I don't know if we should do this.
Well, I won't get too much. We don't have to get into too much detail.
We don't want anybody else outside of the post to hear that.
Yeah,
I don't even want the post to hear because it's political.
I'm just getting the facts down for
Yeah.
now. Now, after you were post commander in 98, 99, did you hold office after that?
Yes, because we allow a commander to succeed themselves one time in the same, consecutively, and I was reelected 99, 2000.
And then after that, I take it you were junior past commander for a year.
Yes.
And
And then I have been elected ever since on the executive committee,
on the
every
executive-
year. Except when I ran for commander, I couldn't be on the exec committee because you have to abdicate that.
I see. And
Yeah.
so that brings us up to current day where you're currently
Right,
the
so next
commander.
year, as of June, the first meeting in June, I will automatically be junior past commander.
What year is this? Could you say that again and telling us what year it is?
This year is it's considered the 205-206 year of the American Legion. So in 206, in May, the second meeting in May at Hollywood Post, a new commander will be elected. And that will be called the 206-207 year. And that's when I become junior past commander. And I will be able to make motions, hopefully, and have them seconded. Because as commander, you do not make motions. If you really want something badly, you say, I'd like to entertain a motion, and then somebody else will make it. And I only have a tie. I've never had a tie yet. As you know, I haven't been the breaker of the tie, so you know that I have my little gavel and I hit that little thing.
Excellent. Hey, let's go back to the beginning. You mentioned you came into the post around 1981.
81,
I understand there was a pretty good dramatic group back then, the
yes,
Liberty Theater.
Liberty Theater.
Yeah.
What happened was, actually, I think it's a spiritual thing, because everything is, it's definitely, it's going to happen, whether we like it or not, the things that happen to us in this world. It's true. Anyway, I was the baby of the family, and I loved my mother so much. My mother passed on in 81. I shouldn't even talk about it. It upsets me. Anyway, it seemed like it was sent to me because of that loss. In the Screen Actors Guild paper, it said, if you served in the military, go over to Hollywood Post 43. They do equity waiver theater. And I thought, boy, I rushed right over here. And I joined the very night that I came over here. And it turned out the commander at the time was a landlord for a friend of mine's poodle grooming shop up on Beechwood Drive. I said, oh, hi, you're the commander? I want to join. And I said, the first thing I want is the bylaws of this organization that very night, because I feel I want to know what are the rules here. So I got the bylaws. And in subsequent years, there were people that never ever even saw a bylaw. But anyway, I got them, and I was in, the first play I was in was called, something about Atomic Veteran, I think it was called. One of our members, Sean Waldron, I think you've met him. He wrote the play, and I was in it as the wife of someone who had a bad, reaction to the atomic weapon that was dropped. And then, of course, I was Nurse Flynn. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I wanted to be Ratchet, which I would have been good for in those days, and I was the right age. But I think all the young fellows, like our present adjutant and others, they were all single at the time. They wanted to interview all these young actresses to come in and play Ratchet. And so they said, oh, no, Militza, you'd be wonderful as Nurse Flynn. I said, no, I want to audition for Ratchet. Oh, no, really, you'd be better as Nurse Flynn. So the funny thing was that a couple of years ago, 20 years after I originally played it, I played it again here, Nurse Flynn, because I wouldn't be right for Ratchet today. So anyway, it was wonderful, and the post was always open. We were very poor at the time, the post, actually. The bowling alley was our main income. They didn't really know how to do the things that Terry does in getting rentals. Maybe you'd have one rental a year, you know. And so it was a wonderful thing. It took my thoughts away from, you know, missing my mother so much. And that's how I happened to join.
I see. Now, we just talked about acting a little bit. I guess we'd have to go way back to the beginning to find out, you know, why you're in Hollywood in the first place.
Oh.
A member of the American Legion and an actress, so you're a veteran and an actress?
Yes, I was a wave in the U.S. Navy, World War II. And I was born and raised in St. Louis, but I knew that I would never live there all my life. I wanted to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York or the Pasadena Playhouse out here. And then when I got out of the Navy, my sister was out here, and so I came to California and went to school under the GI Bill. Started my career in radio. In those days, you had a lot of comedy and drama and everything else in Hollywood. Now, there are very few things. I don't think there's anything done here, except maybe talk shows or something like that. And then became television. I worked in television, what they call the golden age of television. Wonderful things. All of them were live. They were not on tape. It was like doing a play. And if you made a mistake, you just didn't make a mistake because it was live. You know? And a strange thing is you wouldn't see it at the time because it was called Kinescope, and it went directly to New York. And then about an hour later, you'd go over, this was mainly CBS, Television City. You'd go over to there was a Hawaiian restaurant and bar, and we could see it come back from New York. That's when we'd see the show we just did. Oh. And the awful thing is they were called kinescopes, and apparently they didn't save them. So, they were fabulous shows. Playhouse 90 was a 90-minute live show. Most of them were hour things, like Skelton. I was on all of them. Skelton, Jack Benny, My Friend Irma, I don't know. I forget a lot of them. Playhouse 90, Shower of Stars, Carol Burnett, that was a little later. Carol Burnett, I was on that a lot. John Ritter, Hollywood High, graduated a half year behind my boy. I was on his show a lot.
Well, John Ritter, was that Three's Company?
Yeah, Three's Company, but he had another one too that followed. I forget what it was called. I was on Three's Company mainly.
You were on Three's...
many times.
Was it a reoccurring character? Or?
No, not a reoccurring. I wish it had been, because then I'd be on it all the time. No, it was just various.
Oh, I see.
Various. And so terrible, isn't it, that he passed on so young?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you had some films also. I saw one,
Yeah.
Cat Fight.
Oh, the first show that I ever did on film, I was still in school under the GI Bill, and it wasn't union. And I talked to the teacher, and I said, this isn't union, and I want to be in the union someday. Can I do this? She said, oh, yeah, go ahead, because you want to become familiar with how things are done. Go ahead and do it, but never do it after you become a member of SAG. So it was called Girl Gang, which is funny. It would be wonderful today because they have gangs, and I was one of the main characters in it, and I did have a fight, and this girl was big. I mean, she was like 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and we had to actually have a fight, and we're down on the ground, and they hired these 2 officers to pick us up, come on, you girls, and I'm telling you, it almost hit me in the throat and everything else. I thought, it's going to knock me out. And anyway, it was a good show. And the funny thing is, one of the young men in our post is a child actor, Burr Middleton. And I told him that was my first movie. And I said, gee, I'd sure like to see it. I never saw it. Never saw it. And he found it up in the state of Washington, a thing called Strictly Weird Pictures is the name of this outfit, but it has all of these pictures from way back, the Wood pictures that you hear about, this director Wood. They have all those, and he found my picture, I got a copy, and recently, so sweet, he put it on the DVD thing now, or whatever you call that, the updated stuff. So I have it, my son has seen it, and my grandson. It's kind of fun.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Recently, you were in a nationally broadcast commercial.
Oh, Boeing. That was fortunate because I'm on a cane right now, and it limits you pretty much. Not for commercials so much, because many times you're just sitting down when you're doing it or standing up. And they only interviewed veterans because it was called Veterans Day, Their Story Veterans Day, and Their Story Memorial Day. And fortunately, 4 of us from this post were hired for that commercial. Probably they interviewed 100 people at least, I'm sure. And 4 of us from the post were on that. And I got both of them, and one of our men got only the one. But I think all the rest of us got both of them, which is nice. I had to start paying dues again. Boy, the minute you do a show, they've got you send you a dues statement. I'm glad to pay it.
Now, speaking of SAG, we've had a lot of actors here at the
Oh,
Hollywood
yeah.
Coast. Can you
Oh,
just, who
I
can you
think
think of? What can
mainly, a lot of young people wouldn't know them, but of course, Clark Gable, everybody knows Clark Gable was a member here. Ronald Reagan was a member here. Adolphe Menjou, you'd have to be an older person to know who that was. Eugene Pellet. I think Ernest Borgnine. A lot of them. They're up on the memorial wall. If you go up there, you'll find them. Alder Ray, Rudy Valley. I can't remember all the names.
We used to induct Hollywood starlets here as
Oh,
well.
yeah. The major studios, see, this was one of the Hollywood canteens. This was one of them. They were 2 or 3 around town. And the major studios were really wonderful. They'd send their starlets here, and we'd make them honorary colonels. They were called honorary colonels. And major names, I couldn't tell you at this moment their names, but major names at the time. They called them starlets.
What do you, it seems like there's been a big transition lately in the Hollywood American Legion as far as the leadership and the direction that the Post is going.
I think so.
What do you see in the future?
I think it's, I'm hoping, we have, when you pass on here, that you go to what they call post-everlasting. I was telling somebody the other day, she's the district commander this year, I said, oh, you mean when I go up there I have to see some of those people I couldn't stand again, because we're all going to be up there, and we were laughing about that. Anyway, I lost the train of my thought, I'm sorry.
We're talking about how we're in a new...
Yes, I'm saying, as long as I'm on the planet, I hope it stays this way, where it's a more transparent, open, fair, having the interests of the members more at heart, getting the members to know that they are the final arbiter here. Because if you read the minutes of your executive committee, the membership can go against it and vote against it. And in days gone by, sometimes they were not read, and so nobody knew exactly what was going on, and that was it. And I have a fabulous group of people. I am so proud of all of them, and wonderful adjutant. In fact, that's the reason I ran for commander, strictly only for that reason, to get a new adjutant and have a new direction, which is positive.
What kind of, when someone talks about the American Legion in the future, the Hollywood American Legion, what type of goals do you think this organization should have? What kind of, how should the community think of the American Legion? What are some of the things it does in the community? What are some of the tasks that it takes on, some of the challenges it takes on?
Well, I think we could do a lot more. However, we are involved with Hollywood ROTC. We have open house on Veterans Day and Memorial Day. And of course, we do contribute at least, not only, but at least 5% of our income to many, many various charities as well as, veterans groups. And we should probably be more involved in more community things. We do belong to the Chamber of Commerce and do attend meetings from time to time. When I was commander, the first 2 terms, we went a lot more than lately. We've just been so busy, and I'm at the mercy of not being able to personally go alone. Need someone to go with me. And one of our young members went with me recently. We enjoyed it, and it was good publicity for the post and for possible recruiting, hopefully.
I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon, but I'd like to talk just a little bit about Memorial Day. We're going to install a plaque at Bally's.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. Actually, I'm not, patting myself on the back, but I want to tell you that this is something I personally wanted to do in this post for many years and suggested it, and it was kind of, put aside. And we are going to install a plaque at what used to be the American Legion Fight Stadium, known all over the world. Major boxers box there, and it is now called Bally's Fitness Center. And they have agreed it's mutually beneficial for them and for us to have this beautiful plaque that states this is the original site of the American Legion Fight Stadium. And then it tells the year, I think it was 38, tells when it was originally built. And I think it's going to be wonderful. We're going to have a lot of good press there, and we're going to do it on the 29th of May. And then following that, we will come back here and have a new flag. We installed a new flag on Memorial Day, and then have a lunch that's open to our members and to the public. Hopefully people in the vicinity.
And this is,
I look forward to that.
This is going to be your last official act as commander?
Well, I think so, yeah. That's right.
And officially, what's your status going to be?
I'm going to be junior past commander.
No, I'm saying that we're going to have an election prior to this.
Oh yes, the second Monday of May, we are going to elect all of the officers, first and second vice commander, the executive committee, and one trustee every 3 years. We have 3 trustees, and one is elected every year. And that is about the extent of the elected personnel. Then the commander, with the approval of the executive committee, will then appoint new committees. And we have a lot of very good committees, and most of them are operating. We want to get them more involved. Every committee really should be giving a report at least once every couple months of what they've done, because in so many cases in the American Legion, as in other organizations, there are people who want their name in the book that they're this or that, but they never do anything. And if you ask them to do anything, but we want our committees to operate. We have several. We have a young man who is a Desert Storm veteran who is marvelous. He's involved in a lot of committees and involved in the museum.
Oh, you can say his
and
name.
So on. His name is Jarek Wilhelmsen, and it's fantastic. In fact, we have offered him to go forward, and he doesn't want to go forward at this time. But someday, and I hope I live long enough to see all these things happen, someday, he's young and he's very involved with his work and wonderfully competent, but he wants to get a few years on the exec committee, I think. But we would be happy to, because you want to get people who care. You have a lot of members, and you have a lot of sort of halfway contributory people, but not people who are, you just don't find gems like that too often. And I knew that the minute I saw him.
Well, thank you very much. I think we can wrap this up right there. And thank you very much, and we'll go check this out. for the, let me let this